Hold on. On your mark. Oh, Jonah's turn. Oh no! Crash! I think we've gotten maybe a foot and a half of snow. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's over a foot of snow, I know that. In the last day and a half. And we're trapped. Not that we want to go anywhere, but we're definitely trapped here in our RV park. This is us right here. No trees, wide open, which is good news. You want to do your best to keep snow off your windshield. Snow on your windshield creates so much condensation inside, man, it'll be horrible. You don't want all that condensation, so do your best to get the snow off your windshield. On your roof isn't that big of a deal. Icicles aren't that big of a deal. But condensation will kill your motorhome, so keep the snow off your windows when you can. Here's what it looks like around the side over here. As you can see, it's pretty ugly. If you got a slide, you can store stuff underneath during the snow and it won't cause you any problems. Your hose, if you know it's only snowing for a few days, if you just make sure that it's empty of water, unhook it, empty it of water, then put it underneath your motorhome, it'll be fine. You can get it out as soon as it gets above freezing. And that's what we have done. It is currently like 33, 34 degrees. It's gonna get back down again. Right now we're taking advantage of it, filling our tank. Every time it gets above freezing, we refill our tank and use as much water as we can. And the moment it goes below freezing, we unhook it and we have plenty of water. You wanna make sure you have a cover for your electric, because you don't want that exposed. If you got a cover, you're good. Even if your electrical line goes through the snow, it's not gonna hurt anything. You just don't want the outlet in the snow. Can you guess what this lump is right here? All the way there, that's our sewer line. Sewer line being covered with snow isn't that big of a deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. You don't want it to freeze, and I don't think that's gonna be our problem. We don't have really a hard freeze going right now. One thing that we are doing right now, while we have water hooked up, and even when we're just using water from our tank, is we are using our hot water heater. We're not using cold water. I know we want to conserve propane. I know you don't want to use all your propane up. You know, you're going to run out. But if you use hot water, even to do things that you don't need hot water for, if you use hot water, then when it comes out through this sewer line, it'll come out hot and it's less likely to freeze. And if you have any water in that line that's freezing up, that really hot water coming through it will melt it and you'll be fine. So unless you're in really extended snow for long periods of time, this will work for you. If you are in extended snow for long periods of time, I don't know what to tell you. You need to move away. Got some food for the birdies. Leftover popcorn. Right about here. So we have two kids who love to play in the snow, and this thing has been invaluable, man. Like, it's a tiny dryer, and we use it obviously to dry our clothes, but in the winter, in the snow, it's been awesome. Because some of their clothes aren't dirty, they're just wet. They come home, we throw it in here, it doesn't mess up our entire motorhome, and I would suggest everybody get one of these. Also, you can use it as a heater, right, Katie? She laughs, but you can use it as a heater. You just get that part right there that you stick out the window. Instead, you vent it inside. Obviously, you wouldn't want to You wouldn't want to use it as a heater with clothing in there. Just no clothes. That way, it creates no condensation or anything. It's just pumping out hot air. Why are you laughing? So you definitely don't want to park underneath trees. Do you know what I saw, Caitlin? I was walking out there just a minute ago, well, like admiring, you know. I heard a giant snap.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the weight of the snow is breaking branches. I heard 5 branches and saw them falling. Just all over the place.
Well, I saw half a tree toppled over a trash can yesterday.
Yeah, but I saw a bunch of motorhomes parked underneath those trees. Yeah, and so I saw one tree that had fallen, a bunch of stuff had fallen overnight. You can see it's like a zigzag tree. I got some video of it. It's like zigzag. You can see where the left side a bunch had fallen off and the right side a bunch of branches had fallen off. We parked away from trees on purpose, not necessarily for the snow, but because we want as much sunlight as possible. But a lot of people are like, oh, it's cozy underneath these trees. That's bad. That's bad in the snow. And I saw plenty of motorhomes and RVs parked underneath branches that were resting on their RV already. Plus, when that snow melts, it's gonna be gross. And there's no way that water's just gonna slide off and you're gonna be all dry. You need to be able to dry out, so you don't want those branches up there on top of your RV. Here's one good trick for your water line. If you are worried that it's going to freeze, even during a hard freeze, this works for us and this will work for you. These heated water hoses are very expensive. They're super expensive, and you might have to buy 3 or 4 of them if you have a long ways to go. One trick that we have used that has worked for us, it's fantastic. You know what's really cheap? Is Christmas lights. And I'm not kidding. You get a bunch of Christmas lights, wrap your hose in them. You can even use Christmas lights and blankets. It doesn't matter, with some tape. But Christmas lights will keep your hose warm. Don't underestimate how warm they'll keep it. You just wrap it up in the Christmas lights all the way through. Plus, it looks kind of pretty at night. Last thing I want to talk about is this bad boy right here. This is a dehumidifier. I can't remember how big it is. It's a big one. We tried to go with the smaller one. We had to go with the big one because the smaller one just was not cutting it. If you live in an environment where it's snowing or it's wet at all, you have to have this. You have to. You gotta get it. Let's open it up and see what's in it. I am on all the RV subreddits, and every single day people post, there's mold. I got water and mold. What do I do? What do I do? It's because you don't have one of these. How much water's in there? Just a ton of water. It's because you don't have one of these. You have to get a dehumidifier. That snow sitting on there. Ow. That snow sitting up there. That snow sitting on your windows, everything, in the rain too, that's putting tons of humidity inside your RV, and you're not gonna be able to get rid of it. People try to crack windows or do something small, or I know that the dehumidifiers are expensive and they try to go without them. You need one. You have to get one. You're gonna ruin your entire RV. Well, it is snowing more and the temperatures are sinking. So I'm going to take the hose off. First I gotta fill the tank up. It's mostly full. We're just gonna top it off for the night.